Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, look, man, I want to try to keep this simple. Everybody knows by now that the National Guard went into D.C. along with additional law enforcement to help curtail the homeless problem, the trash, and also dealing with the immigration issue and the lawlessness that's what's going on in D.C. D.C. is ranked number 3 when it comes to murder per capita. Baltimore is right behind it, number 4. Initially, Mayor Bowser of D.C. was against the troops coming in to D.C. and doing what they had to do to get things under control. And of course, we know that as a result of what Trump did, Mayor Bowser was taken aback by it, and she thanked the president for, sending in the troops and bringing their crime down at an 87% level. Did you hear what I said? He went in, and in 11 days, he killed 87% of the crime that was going on in D.C. And also, in addition to that, 11 days, there was no murders. No one got killed in D.C. for 11 days. Not to mention, right, the 90 guns within that time frame that they had took off the street. So you can imagine the amount of lives that were saved those last 11 days while the National Guard was there. Here's what I got a problem with. I got a problem with, why do the Democratic Party and some blacks have a problem with what they did in D.C.? 11 days. Nobody was killed. In D.C., they're averaging about a person every 2 or 3 days getting killed. So they saved lives. That's obvious. But I just don't understand. Our people, your people too, for that matter. These people are protesting. Think about this. These people are protesting. You got Palestinian flags out there. You got Mexican flags. You got people with transgender gay rights issue. They are in the bunch. You got the women with the women's rights issue. You got this whole melting pot of different groups of people who actually mix like oil and water. They don't. In other words, what I'm saying is, I'm looking at a transgender man in one of the protests, and he got a Palestinian flag wrapped around his shoulders. Well, if he was in Palestine, if he was in the Gaza Strip or any kind of Muslim country, they would probably unalive him because he's gay. And then on top of that, these women would get punished. Some of them would be unalive too for the way they carry it here in the United States, because they believe in Sharia law. So in other words, what I'm saying to you, you got all these people from all these different groups, all these different walks of life, and they're all in the same pot. And they don't belong in the same pot. That's like putting a wolf with sheep and thinking they're going to get along. It's the same thing. But what I can't understand, what I can't wrap my head around is, the Democratic Party is supposed to be for civil rights, so they say, and all this other stuff, right? And as a result, no matter how you feel about Donald Trump, as a result of what he decided to do, no black men for 11 days died in D.C. And you mad? And then here's another thing. Why are black people in the middle of an immigration fight? Why do we keep letting these liberals, these woke folk, draw us into fights that are not ours? Immigration is not our fight. I had a friend of mine, another brother, he wants to tell me, we next. I said, we next? So what do you mean we next? I told him, I said, if we was next, Like you saying, if we was next, we would have been first. And I wouldn't be having this conversation with you right now. But this is the silliness that's going on. And at what point do people wake up and realize what's going on? We ain't never had a president that get in front of a camera and call out mainstream media and tell them they fake news. We've never had a politician to do that. So these things are something to think about. You know, get back with me. Give me your thoughts on this. I'm out.